Hello and welcome to Belly's Budget Ballers, featuring Blissey. Hey Blissey, what do you do? Powerful slap. Flip a coin for each energy attached to this Pokemon, and the attack does 80 damage for each heads. 1 heads, 80 damage. Meh. 2 heads, that's 160. A lot of non-GX Pokemon starting to go down. 3 heads, that's 240. Not many GX Pokemon surviving that one. 4 heads, that's 320. Nothing surviving that. So, how do I get all these energies to you, Blissey? Well, let's start off with some DCEs. Attach one of these bad boys to Blissey, and hey, that's 2 energies right there, and potentially 160 damage. Nice. But unfortunately, I'm only allowed to run 4 of these, so I'm going to need something else. Some Naganadel. Charge up. Once during your turn, you may attach a basic energy card from your discard pile to this Pokemon. But that's a basic energy card, so I'm going to pick water energies here, because then Quagsire wash out. As often as you like during your turn, before you attack, you may move a water energy from one of your bench Pokemon to the front line, to your Blissey or to whoever's there. And hey, we're now loaded up, ready to attack. But coin flips. What if you don't get enough heads? Well, Victini's here to help us out. Victory Star. Once during your turn, after you flip all of your coins for an attack, you might need to ignore those results and just have a do-over. Alright, and that's how the deck rolls. So, what else do we have here? Well, Wishful Baton here is really important. We are a very energy hungry deck, and hey, we do have our Naganadels recovering our energies from our discard, or at least those basic water energies, but what if I can keep those basic energies alive to begin with? Well, if your opponent attacks and knocks out your Pokemon that's got this attached to it, you may move up to 3 basic energy cards from that Pokemon to one of your bench Pokemon, and that's how we might be able to save some of our water energies as we go. Now, you might have noticed that I'm only running a 1-1 line of Wooper Quagsire. So what if Quagsire's prized? Well, we've got Multi Switch to help us out. Hey, there's sometimes we need to just move energies in a different way. This provides us a way to ship our energies of any kind, even our DCEs, to the front line. Very nice. Now, to build consistency, our engine is also going to have a 1-1 line of Blitzle Zebstrika. We don't always need him, but he does come in handy with his sprint ability. Once during your turn, you may discard your hand and draw 4 new cards. Hey, we need to sometimes get to what we actually can use as soon as we can. Zebstrika can help us out. Now, everything else is fairly straightforward. We have our draw supporters in Cynthia, Lillie and Sightseer. We have a 1 Guzma. I'm only running the 1 because I was finding when I was running more that they clogged it up too much. So 1 Guzma I found was enough with a Pal Pad to get him back if you need it. We aren't running any GX Pokemon, so Shrine of Punishment fits in here nicely. That between turns, put 1 damage counter on each Pokemon with Pokemon GX or EX. So the Shrine really burns those GX Pokemon down, and some of them coming into a lower coin flip ranges, which is really nice, but also lower ranges for our other attackers here, such as Naganadel, who can actually hit for 160 if you've got 3 prize cards remaining. So that's a good turning point move right there. But also Quagsire, because he can actually add 20 damage for every water energy that's attached on top of his 60. So you do have these other attackers ready to go as well. Now, we are using our sprint ability at times, so rescue stretches can come in really important because you might have had to have discarded some Pokemon to get yourself rolling, and this is a good way to get those Pokemon back. So, that's how the deck rolls. Shall we begin? I think we shall. Hello Aspak, welcome to this match. And I have Poipole and Victini to start with. Not the best. I would have preferred something like a Chansey to be able to put up front, but the Poipole isn't necessarily the end of the world because he can attack turn 2 if things go my way with the Naganadel. So we'll see what my opponent is playing. He's playing grass, colourless, so it could be Lost March. No, it's going okay. It's a very different deck to what I was kind of expecting there. So I'm going to use a Wishful Baton on the Poipole. I kind of don't want to waste a Wishful Baton on a Victini, but I need to deck thin here because I need to get the maximum value out of this Lillie here. So we'll put the Wishful Baton onto the Victini, a bit of a waste, and I do draw into a Nest Ball at least. I don't draw into any NGs, which is not good for me. So I don't have a Ditto. I do have the Zebstrika, so I feel like going this play here to get the Zebstrika up is really important because I don't have any draw supporter for next turn at this stage. So this is how I get myself going. We are going to finish there. Not an ideal turn one, and I'm going to have to probably burn another Wishful Baton on a Pokemon that I don't really want it on. So, and I'm going to have to burn through the Blissey as well. So this is not an ideal start for me. Let's see what my opponent is trying to do. He's going to be able to bring in a grass Pokemon on his first turn. Probably going to be the evolution of this to the Grovile, because that'll allow him to pull his grass Pokemon up on the next turn as well. So not a bad turn for my opponent there. I do have a Lillie draw supporter, so it is a different way to get out of this. But yeah, I'm feeling like I am pretty desperate right now. So the Ultra Ball right now to probably sprint out of this is what I'm going with, which means I'm burning all Rescue Stretchers as well. So in fact, because I'm going to burn the Rescue Stretcher, I feel like burning the Blissey right now and a Rescue Stretcher to go and get me the Zebstrika. And what I need here is a DCE and a way to get a water energy into the discard so I can take out that Trico. And I think that's going to be pretty clutch this turn. So right now I am going to lose my Blissey no matter what. So we're going to put the Wishful Baton onto the Zebstrika. We're going to Power Pad as well, just to really thin this hand and get the maximum value out of the Lillie first before I decide to sprint. So we are now in search of a DCE and a way to put a water energy in the discard. Now I can sprint out of this quite nicely. We can Nest Ball. I do have a Chansey finally. I can Nest Ball as well. So right here I think we go for the Wooper and put that down. I feel like right now we Ultra Ball for another Pokemon here and then sprint out of this. So yes, we're going to Ultra Ball. I'm going to sprint out, so all these are going to be gone anyway. I'm in desperate search for... I'm going to pull in a basic here, so I'm thinking of Poipole. Yeah, that's what we're going to go for, the Poipole. We are going to be in search for that DCE. I've got 4 cards to try and pull one of my 3 DCEs up. And if I do get this KO, which will be huge. I've got the DCE, so that is massive for me and hugely important now. So we'll charge up, go and get the only water energy that I've got in the discard, and we can take out the Trico this turn, which is absolutely huge. Because what it means is he can't evolve into the Grovile this turn, which will delay him from being able to pull out whatever grass Pokemon he wants, and he's going to have to do it in other ways, Ultra Balls, things like that. So a very good turn 2 from me. Now what I need to work out is how I'm getting the Chansey up and rolling. I do have a Multi Switch, so I can manually retreat, pull the energy back to the Naganadel, Multi Switch the DCE, and manually switch the water energy with the Quagsire. So I feel like I can get myself up and going this turn. Now he has got the Golisipod up, but he's not able to use it on this first turn, which is disappointing for him because that means he can't hit for 120 this turn. So good for me. I am going to Quagsire down. I feel like probably sprinting that water energy into the discard's not necessarily a bad thing at this stage. We will do the Oh, I do need to find myself a Blissey if I'm making this move. I do have a couple of opportunities to get that Blissey, so we are going to manually retreat to the Blissey at this stage, chuck the Water NG off of the Naganadel here, and I think we'll Sightseer before we sprint. I think that's the play that I'm going for, so we're going to Multi Switch and send the DC up to the Chansey. We're going to charge up here. We're going with a fairly risky second turn, I feel. We will Sightseer first. I think that's the play to do. So we'll Sightseer, we'll get rid of both of these cards. We're in search for a Blissey or a way to get a Blissey up. And we do have a Blissey, so that is huge for me. We do have another Water NG as well. We didn't get my second Naganadel, which is what I was hoping for. Do I want to sprint out of this? Is the Guzma going to be good for me? The Multi Switch could be. I feel like the sprint out of this is better, and I do have a Water NG in there, and I've already charged up that Naganadel, so we're going to put this Water NG on. We're going to sprint out and get some new cards here in search for that second Naganadel. I don't have the second Naganadel, but that Shrine of Punishment could put a lot of pressure on my opponent as well. We're going to wash out here. We don't have a Wishful Baton on the Blissey, which is worrying me, but what can this thing do? Cannot quite one-shot my Pokemon unless he's got something to power it up with. So we're going to go with the powerful slap here. What we need is a minimum of 2 heads to be able to get it with the Shrine over 2 turns, but I think I'll be greedy here and see if I can one-shot it. So we're going to flip again. I've got 1 heads because we need 3 to get the one-shots. This is huge. I do get the one-shot, and that puts more pressure on my opponent. Gives me 2 of my prize cards, and my opponent is going to have to probably try and take out the Blissey this turn, I feel. So he's going to be able to put the Grovyle potentially onto the Trico this turn. I've got a Ditto Prism Star, Water NG. At least I've got draw spoilers to get out of this hand as well. I really do feel like I do have a bit of an advantage right now in this matchup, but I am nervous that all my NGs right now are on my Blissey and I haven't got anything else. So he is going to start putting pressure on the Blissey itself. But I do have the opportunity to one-shot that Blissey as well, which I think is something I must go for. So we're going to put the Naganadel down. I am a little bit nervous about putting all the Water NGs onto the Blissey. I'm certainly going to put another one onto the Blissey. We're going to Cynthia here, because I do need to make sure I'm getting the one-shot, and I need 3 heads on this turn. So right now, what's the most important that I get up and going? Because I need to be able to attack on my next turn. That's something that's pretty important. So he's at 190 right now. Just trying to work out this. So I can attack the Naganadel and get my turning point, which is 160. It's not going to be enough. I can Ultra Ball, but what am I pulling up? Not a huge amount. So 3, 4, 5 coin flips. I need to get 3. I feel like leaving the Water NG there is probably more important. Probably sprinting away this hand, to be honest. We might keep the hand at this stage, just because I can get a Chansey up on the next turn. Yeah, I think we just take a chance and go with the powerful slap. We're searching for 3 heads right now. And I could get it. Yes, I do. So, nope. We've got the one-shot on the Golisipod, which is huge for me. And he has to try and KO this Blissey this turn. I do have another Water NG now. The only downside is I don't have a Wishful Baton on the Blissey, so it means I'm potentially going to lose all of my NGs this turn. So my opponent has got the Grovyle finally up. He's going to judge me. I'm not hugely hurt by that because I do have the Zebstrika up still, and I did have way too many Cynthias in hand. So I do draw me a Water NG, a Multi Switch, a Cynthia to refresh the hand as well, and I've got the sprint. So Right now, I'm looking at what is my opponent trying to do here. He's really got to try and get the KO on the Blissey this turn. I'm trying to see how he's going to get that. He can discard a special energy from my active, so he can try and slow me down just a little bit. But, depending on what I get right now, I think I go the water energy just goes... Hang on. How many water energies do I have in here? Absolutely none. So I think right now I burn my entire deck here, like the hand here, because I can just pull that up. So we'll Ultra Ball because I want that water energy into the discard this turn. And we're not going to pull anything from that. That's just a deck thin. We are going to Cynthia initially because I'm searching for another DCE. That's really what I want to find. I don't find me another DCE. I can sprint this as well. What do I do here? I think I just sprint this hand because this right now isn't really that useful for me. So we'll sprint this hand out. Searching for that DCE still. Don't have a DCE, but I do get another water energy, so that's good for me. And I finally found that Wishful Baton as well. We will charge up. We are going to send all the water energies to the front right now. And we need 2 heads to win this, and we've got 2 attempts of 6 coin flips to find 2 heads. So right now, I would need probably awful luck to lose this match. So we'll see how we go. We'll powerful slap here. And can we find the 2 heads? Yes, we can. So it is game over. 4 heads, huge slap there, 320 damage. What a move, and that is a great comprehensive victory. 6 prize cards to 0. Alright, good game, good game. Hello and welcome. Fire and a whole heap of numbers. Wow, wonder if they mean anything. Anyway, we are going to put the Chansey down. And that's all I can do at this stage. My opponent mulligans, which could be helpful because I do need to find a draw supporter, and this is not looking favourable for the Chansey that's going to be out there. I'm going to need to be able to hit pretty quickly if this is the traditional budget Lucario Garchomp deck. Hopefully this is a draw supporter. No, it is not. And I'm going second, so yeah, I'm really needing to probably hope that he's a little bit slow on the setup. That Brooklet Hill's good for him. So he is going to be able to get a basic out. I'm pretty surprised he didn't choose to use the Brooklet Hill first to go and get a basic Pokemon. But anyway, he'll be able to pull out whatever he wants out of this to bring it onto the bench. And he's probably in a pretty good spot of potentially attacking turn 2, and that's going to be the challenge here. Being able to get up and going quick enough to start taking these guys down. So, let's see what I get. 3 Ultra Balls, wow. Well, I guess we go 1 Ultra Ball. I'm going to have to throw a Stretcher away, I think. And a Wishful Baton. Yeah, that's the play. Stretcher and Wishful Baton. And I need to go and get the Blitzle right now. Although maybe I'll go and get the Ditto because I'll have a little bit more flexibility. But really speaking... Oh, I can actually use this. Let's go and get the Wooper. Alright, yeah, that's good. So that can become the... Zebstrika. I'll put a energy down on the Chansey, and that will be this turn. So let's see if my opponent can get themselves going to attack this turn. If he is able to, it's going to really put me on the back foot. So the advantage is Blissey does have the ability to one-shot the Garchomp. He has burnt 2 Cynthias. I'm assuming he's got power pads and stuff to be able to pull them back anyway. It's going to be whether or not he can attack this turn. If he can attack this turn, I'm going to be in a lot of trouble. Even if he's able to actually deny me from getting this Riolu down this turn, I could be in a lot of trouble. So I'm really hoping that he's not able to get off to the fast start he's hoping for. Alright, so that probably works in my favour here, and right now I go Quagsire down, I go Blissey down, I Ultra Ball and go and get the Zebstrika so I can refresh the hand. And then hope that I can draw into either a Draw Support or a DCE. That's what I'm really hoping for here. So Zebstrika down, let's sprint and hopefully draw into something that will allow me to attack this turn. Unfortunately not. So the Victini can go down. The Shrine can go down because I'm not going to get any use out of that anymore, so hopefully that will slow him down a little bit. Unfortunately for me, I am stuck. So it does give him another opportunity to set up and get what he is looking for. So he's going to evolve it the good old-fashioned slow way, which means he's not going to be attacking this turn, thankfully. But, oh, he's not able to use Lucario's ability this turn either. He will be able to next turn. He's going to Guzma. He's going to put the Victini into the active. So a DCE and a Guzma is really what I'd like to see in this turn, because then I can go after the Garchomp so he can't use Lucario's ability and can slow him down. That's really what I'm looking for here. Don't probably want to use the Cynthia here, because I really need the Guzma. I'm actually going to burn that Cynthia. Really need the only Guzma I've got in deck plus a DCE. It's a lot to ask for, I know. Not going to get it. So, chuck the Wishful Baton onto the Blissey. We shall Lillie. Got a switch. And a Poipole. So we shall go and get myself a Chansey. Right here, I kind of don't want my Blissey stuck in the active. I say my Victini stuck in the active, because I do want those coin flips. Those coin flips are going to be really important to me. So we'll switch the Chansey into the active. And we will go with a Water Energy onto the Blissey. And leave it there for the moment. Force him to target down the Chansey at this stage, and hopefully I can target down his Garchomp on the next turn. After that, he's going to have to start setting up another Garchomp. Having two Lucarios in the back line is going to allow him a lot of flexibility to do that. But he's also going to get that into the active this turn, so he's probably going to need a switch of some kind. Plus an energy. Now I'm assuming he's going to have drawn into the energy, and now he can Lucario to go and get the switch. But if he doesn't get something to get another Garchomp down, oh, he's got the escape board, so that's good for him. But if he can Lucario to go and get another Garchomp, Gibble. He has burnt 3 Cynthias, so that's really good. He's going to be able to take out this Chansey, and I'm fine with that at this stage, because I do have Rescue Stretcher to get myself going. And I feel like it could be a big challenge for him to get the KO on the next turn. So we'll see what he's got lined up. So he's got the Gibble. And he's gonna need a rare candy. He's not gonna be able to attack next turn with the Garchomp, so that's really, really good for me. So now Chansey goes down. I wouldn't mind seeing one of my DCEs this turn. I've got a Lillie or a Sightseer, so that gets me 4, that gets me 4. It's 4 either way. We'll go with the Lillie. And I do draw into a DCE, so that's really handy for me. The Ultra Ball I need as well. And I think right now I Ultra Ball away the Cynthia and the Sightseer, knowing that I can just get rid of my hand anyway. So I think that's what we do here. Do I have a Rescue Stretcher? Yes, I do. So I can probably get rid of the Blissey as well, because I desperately need to get into that Rescue Stretcher as well. So I've got another attacker lined up, ready to roll soon. So we'll go with the Naganadel down. We're going to chuck the DCE onto this Blissey here. We're going to chuck the other DCE... the other Wishful Baton. I feel it's best to go on the Naganadel at this stage. So we're going to sprint away that Blissey. So I'm running out of resources here just to be able to take this Garchomp out. But I do have the Rescue Stretcher, which is really good for me. I desperately needed that. So we'll go back and get the Chansey, the Blissey, and we'll pull back this Naganadel as well. And I've got 2 DCEs here. I don't really want to chuck any of them away at this stage, so I'll pull in an NG with the Naganadel. I do have NG switches as well to come as... I haven't seen any of them either, those. Alright, so I've got plenty to come. I need 2 heads here. I've got 2 attempts to get it as well out of the 4 coin flips, so I say that we just go with this. I got it, so no, don't flip again. And I've got to remember here that I'm pretty sure he cannot attack this turn. I am reasonably certain that he cannot attack this turn, so he's going to send up the Vulpix. And what I'm thinking here is I've probably got to try and once again find that Guzma of mine. I don't know if it's prized, I should have checked. But find that Guzma of mine to be able to go after something in the back line. I mean, if he does bring the Garchomp up front, it does help me. So it's going to judge me. I'm not really too worried about that. I'm sure that's more about refreshing his hand than trying to really disrupt mine. There is a Multi Switch. Don't really want to chuck them away because I need to try and find my way back into that Chansey as well to get my second big hitter attacker online. So I didn't draw into the Guzma either, so that was a little bit disappointing. He is able to get a Brooklet Hill down, so that's good for him to be able to set up a second attacker at the same time here. So keeping in mind that he has burnt through 3 Cynthias as well, I wonder if his 4th Cynthia is prized, or does he need to... Like, is it in deck, or is he going to have to go and fetch it, like fetch those Cynthias from the discard somehow? Not 100% sure. This is... This is going to be interesting. So he's got the Pal Pad, so he has got them back into deck, so that's good for him. So what does he need? He needs a DCE to be able to attack next turn, and a Cynthia, and yeah, that's all he'll need. So he is definitely able to take out the Blissey next turn. So now I've got to be really starting to think about what is my next attacker. I really desperately need to find probably the Guzma this turn. That's what would really help me here, is finding that next Guzma to... just to force the Garchomp. Like, take that Garchomp out and take the next attacker out. So I'm feeling here that we put the Water Energy down. We start spreading them out a little bit. So we'll put it to the Quagsire. How many Water Energy is what I need on the Quagsire here to be able to effectively take him down? I'll need 5. So that's 2 from here, 3, 4, and the 5th. Yeah, so I will be able to take him down with the Quagsire in the next one if I do need to. I kind of wish I had the Wishful Baton and the Quagsire now. The rest of these cards aren't going to be useful for me right here in this place. Let's just sprint them and hopefully find that Guzma. I didn't find the Guzma. I have got a Nest Ball though, so that could be really good for me because it now allows me to go and get the Chansey, and I've still got 2 Blissies in deck and the Guzma's prize, so I'm never going to find them. So we will go and pull the Chansey up, so that's getting ready for my next attacker as well. Both multi-switches are here. No, I can't. Unfortunately, multi-switch, it only switches to the active, so I can't actually go and do this how I'd like to do it. So we'll just have to accept taking out the Vulpix at this stage and play it like that. So we will powerful slap here. I only need the 1 heads to take this out. So that's gone. Powerful slap, 160, and now we start working out how do we get this next Garchomp offline. So on the next play here, to be able to successfully get that Garchomp offline, what would I need? I would need the Blissey, and that's probably it. I'm not at my turning point yet. But yeah, I'd probably need the Blissey here in this play. And 14 cards, I can draw, I can definitely get 5 of those 14. And I'm not sure if I've got Ultra Balls or something in here. I think I've used them all, yes. All the Ultra Balls are gone, so I have to find the Blissey the good old-fashioned old way. That does burn a... How many Cynthias has he got? So he's definitely got 1 in deck, potentially 2. I do have to take the Garchomp out this turn, absolutely guaranteed. Now, I could guarantee it by using the Quagsire, but I'm not necessarily a big fan of doing that because then my energy switching potential is completely lost. And I'd have to send all the energies to the Quagsire as well. And my opponent, I would say, is nearly... Although he can only attach 1 energy here, so he's not able to attack next turn if I can get rid of the Blissey. So get rid of this Garchomp. So do I actually go after that play right now? So take those 2. Do I definitely take him out, knowing that I can manually retreat and get those energies back so I can attack with the Naganadel on the next turn? I think that's actually the play here. So we're going to put the energies to the Quagsire at this stage. And I'm thinking that we go with the Quagsire for the main attacker. Because I need to guarantee that I take this out here. I do have 1 Wishful Baton somewhere, I think. Because I burnt that Wishful Baton at the start of the game. So I do think I go with the Quagsire up front here because he can't attack effectively on the next turn. So these things can't take it out, can they? No, so he can't take out the Quagsire on the next turn. So let's go Quagsire up front here. Which means I'm probably manually retreating the Quagsire on the next turn as well. The Nest Ball isn't going to be any good for me. I haven't got anything in deck, I don't think, that I want to pull from this. So no, there's nothing in deck that I want to pull from this. I'm very seriously running out of attackers here. But I am going to sprint right now, because that puts the water energy into the discard for the Naganadel. I do draw into the Blissey, so that's unfortunate because I'd rather have attacked with Blissey here. But we will stick with the play in hand. We will go with the water energy on the Quagsire. We will charge up with this Naganadel. And I've got to be very careful that I'm not decking out here as well. So then we're going to wash out here and bring a water energy to the front line. So that's taking out the Garchomp now. What I've really got to be thinking to myself is how do I ensure that I don't actually run out of cards here? So how many turns do I need? If I take something out every turn, which I think I'm going to have to, it's 3 more turns after this. So I'm going to Sightseer here just to draw an extra 4 cards, and that's probably my sort of draw support done, because now I need to be able to find my own way into whatever else I need. Now I've got 2 DCEs as part of this deck as well, so that's really good. So right now I'm going to Hydro Pump the 5 NGs, that's 20 for each, so it's 160, so that does do what I need to do. And my opponent right now cannot attack this turn with the Garchomp. There's the Guzma, so that makes it, that's really useful for this particular play, because I can now attack around to whatever I need to. So whichever Garchomp he's trying to set up here is the one that I go after, and I go after it with the Blissey now. And it's very, in fact, no, I actually go after it with the Naganadel this play. So I'm going after that Garchomp right there, and I go after it with the Naganadel because I've got my turning point move, and that will hit for 160 here. Although he's going to counter catch, that doesn't bother me so much because, hey, I can, I'm Guzmaing this particular turn anyway. And I can go after the Garchomp. So I think this is really going to put me ahead in this matchup, because it means he's not going to be able to get a KO next turn as well, because there's no way that he can hit for 130 without the Garchomp. So if I target the one with the NG here, that is a really gun play to get myself really ahead of the prize cards, and I've just got to figure out how I'm taking 2 more. And it is delaying him still, and I'll be able to put the Blissey up front, and it's just about working out, or Quagsiring for the last play. So yeah, I think I'm really in a good spot now to actually hold off my opponent here and win this matchup. So it's a Guzma into the Quagsire, not into the Quagsire, into the Naganadel here. Get the turning point hit, because that's hitting for 160 this turn on that Garchomp. Deny him from attacking next turn, which allows me to take out whatever he sends up front next turn, and then KO, like get it to 1 prize card with 3, well really 2 main attackers, the Blissey and the Quagsire. So yeah, I'm feeling really good about this matchup right now, this position that I'm in right now. So I don't know how my opponent would get out of that. That's the only thing, is I'm trying to work out how is my opponent getting out of this, unless he has a way to save that NG. If he has a way to save that NG, it does put a lot more pressure on me, and he doesn't by the looks of things. So what I do here is I put the DCE onto the Blissey, I Guzma to this Garchomp right here, and I put the Naganadel up front. I use my washout here to send an energy through to the Naganadel that's up front. I might actually just send 2 of them through to the Naganadel, just so it gives me my energies just spread out a little bit more in case he goes after my Quagsire instead. That is the only way I see this really going down, actually, is if he's able to successfully target the Quagsire. Do I can't Lillie or anything because I've Guzma'd. I think I just have to continue with this play. I do have another DCE, so there is an out there as well. So I turning point here, I take out the Garchomp. If he's able to Guzma into the Quagsire, although he can't attack next turn, so no, that's fine. I've got to remember, he can't actually take anything out this particular turn. So he's still 2 turns away from attacking. He will be able to take something out next turn, but I'm able to take out whatever he puts up in front, because I'll just be retreating to the Blissey and then sending a lot of water NGs up to the front line. Not too many, because I do need to be able to attack with the Quagsire. So I'm thinking that the water NGs now actually come off the Naganadel, because Naganadel is done. Although I could potentially leave the Naganadel up front here. That's tempting, because this Gabite, unless he obviously puts energy on this Gabite, but Naganadel can actually take me out the Gabite for me. And I just set up Blissey with another water NG. Yeah, so I think with the Gabite in front of me, I just use the turning point attack and just take it out with Gabite. He doesn't resist psychic damage, nope. So that's really good for me, because then it's still just the Naganadel up front. And he has now really a choice of whether he wants to go after the Blissey or whether he wants to go after the Quagsire. I'm going to chuck the Wishful Baton on the Quagsire as well, so that's really good for me. I'm going to chuck a Water Energy onto the Blissey. And my opponent, I think, has realised that he's not in a really good position to overcome that. So, hey, good game, good game. And it is time to rate this deck. So, what do I think? Well, let's start with damage. And boy, does this deck hit hard. Powerful slap. It can get to really big numbers and take out pretty much whatever's in front of you. I remember when I was tweaking this deck and playing around with it on my iPad for a while, unfortunately I wasn't recording, that I did come across one Whale Lord Magikarp Tag Team GX deck. And oh, I would have loved to have seen the look on my opponent's face when this Blissey just went and one-shotted it. Afterwards, he just rage quit. I probably would have rage quit as well, but Powerful Slap can take down anything, even tanky 300 HP Pokemon. Hey, 10 out of 10, you've got to give it to it, especially for a non-GX deck. Defense. Once again, this is actually a real tanky Pokemon. Its weakness is not good in the current format of fighting, but other than that, 160 HP is really annoying to have to get over for just one prize card, so the defense here is pretty good. Even the Naganadels here do chip in with 130, they're a really annoying amount. The 130 is not ideal, but once again, it's pretty good here. So the defense, not perfect, but I am giving it a solid 8.5 out of 10. So that brings me to reliability. This is where the deck probably struggles most. I had to play around with this build quite a bit just to get it set up consistently. I'm pretty happy with the current build, it does set up consistently, but then you're also relying on coin flips. If you don't get the coin flips you need, this can go pretty wrong pretty quickly. However, I am building up those that reliability by just overwhelming it with energies to the Blissey, and then using the Victini in combination. Works pretty well, but once again, it is the weakness of the deck. It's a 7 out of 10 for reliability. So overall, what do I think? Well, this deck is a lot of fun and it hits really hard. If you're after something that's a little bit different, hits hard, and is a lot of fun to play, this is a deck that I recommend, giving this an 8.5 out of 10.